Hey guys, in this RedGamingTech.com video we're going to be taking a look at today's Steam sale games. It's of course July the 12th. Anyway, there's quite a good list of games as well as a new feature which we're going to be talking about a little bit later on. First of all, I'm just going to be mentioning them in Great British Pounds, but I'll also be giving you the percentages so you can get an idea of what that is in dollars. If someone wants to leave a comment, then that would be fantastic. Anyway, first things first, we're going to talk about Terraria. Terraria is 75% off, meaning it's £1.49. That's down from £5.99, I believe. It's actually a very good game. I'm pretty sure most of you would have heard of Terraria by now, so I probably don't really need to explain what it's about. It's one of those games that you can theoretically pretty much play indefinitely. Although I believe updates have stopped, Amata on this channel has a few Terraria videos, and apparently at some point or another we're going to be doing a co-op game. Hey, maybe we can actually get some of our viewers involved as well into the world. That'd be pretty fun actually. As for whether you should buy it, well, at this price, if you haven't already got it, you'd be silly not to if you're even slightly interested in it. So yeah, it's pretty much a no-brainer really. If you haven't got it and you're interested in it, get it. You can't really expect it to go much cheaper than that, to be honest. Next up is Ridge Racer Unbounded. I believe I've got a video on that on this channel. It's a pretty good racing game. It's not exactly a traditional Ridge Racer game at all, but it is pretty fun. I suggest you take a look at the video. It's definitely under the channel, actually. I remember recording it. It's fun, but if you're a serious Ridge Racer fan, you might be left a little bit disappointed. If you're not and you're more into just a bit of a zany action, it has, like, for example, Nitros and that kind of thing, worth checking out. It's not a bad racing game, but it's, however, 50% off, which makes it from £29.99 to £14.99. It possibly might be a bit expensive for all but the hardened racing game fans. So, there you have it. You might want it, you might not. Anyway, next one is Legend of Grimrock. I also covered that on this channel. It's 60% off, so that takes it from £11.99 down to a pretty damn good £4.79. I'll be totally honest, I did not get on with the game that well. I was not that great at it, but it's a very traditional dungeon crawler. It's also in the first person style, and it's very old school. If you're into your old school kind of dungeon crawling kind of games, it's definitely that. Well, this is pretty much exactly what you're looking for. For the price, just under £5, it's definitely worth picking up. It's not forgiving, however, I will warn you. So if you're expecting it to kind of hold your hand, you might want to give this one a miss. However, if you're definitely into the hardcore RPG aspect of things, then it's definitely worth checking out. Very fun game. I have a feeling it could be pretty damn long. I didn't end up playing it for too long myself because it's not really my cup of tea, but definitely worth checking out if it is yours. So, as once again, it's not a bad price. Portal 2. Once again, this is one of those ones I don't really need to explain what it is. It's 75% off, which makes it from £14.99 down to £3.74, which is pretty damn good. It's one of those games where I think most people have played it, and it probably has one of the most legacy kind of fan bases out of all the games recently. It's, you know, people actually walking around with their own handmade portal guns, I kid you not. Whether you want to play it really depends on if you've been slightly tempted by it in the past. If you have, then I'd suggest checking it out. I personally have not actually picked up Portal 2. I have Portal 1 for free. I have played Portal 2, however, around a friend's house for a while. Quite like it. Not really sure that I'd personally complete it all the way through. I might be committing suicide on my channel by actually, you know, saying that with people sending me hate mail. But there you have it. Worth checking out if you're into the series. I have a feeling most people who actually want it probably would have picked it up by now, but if you haven't, it's a pretty damn good chance to do so. Moving on, I think there's probably very little introduction for this one, but anyway, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, down 50%, which makes it from $39.99, which is pretty expensive for a PC game, to be honest, down to $19.99. Once again, this is in Great British Pounds. not a bad game if you're into your first-person shooters. There's of course a massive argument of, between Battlefield 3 and Modern Warfare 3. I personally don't mind either, but there you have it. It's a great opportunity to pick it up. I don't really think I need to explain this one that much, because I think most people kind of know this one by now, and if you've been tempted by it in the past, this is a pretty damn good chance to buy it. I believe it was actually pretty cheap at one point at Christmas. It might have been on the EA store. It was a similar-ish price. But anyway, this is another opportunity to pick it up. Of course, there will likely be another Call of Duty game released post-haste. So, but nevertheless, definitely worth checking out if you're interested. Indie Bundle 1 is the next one up. It's 75% off, which makes it from £27.99 down to the princely slum of just under £7 at £6.99. Not bad. It actually has 5 games, I believe, with it, which are Anomaly, Warzone Earth, Cave Story Plus, Edge, Lone Survivor, and The Baconing. It's probably going to be one of those games where you want it for Cave Story Plus and possibly Lone Survivor. Lone Survivor in particular has quite a good following at the moment and worth checking out, as does Cave Story Plus. For the price, which you're going to pick up 5 games, it's certainly not bad. You can actually buy them individually if you want, although you get a far worse deal if you do. Rather than 75% off, they're 50% off for Anomaly, Warzone Earth, 40% for Cave Story Plus. Edge is only 50% off, and Lone Survivor 35% off, and The Baconing is actually 0% off unless you get it part of this deal. So in other words, all games combined, even with their savings, would be £25.99. So you're saving quite a lot of money if you decide to go for the bundle. You're actually saving almost £17. I'm sorry, almost £19. Misread that. So I have notes here. So yeah. Anyway, worth checking out. The amount of games, it's probably worth it. Plus, of course, you get to support indie developers, which is always leaves you feeling warm and fuzzy inside, if you will. Next up is Total War Shogun 2. This is actually the entire collection where you get 67% off, which means it's from £60 down to £20, or you can just simply buy the single Shogun 2, which makes it from £29.99 to £7.49, or you can get the DLCs, which are Fall of the Samurai, which brings it from £25 to £12.49, and Rise of the Samurai campaign, which is from £5.99 to £1.49. Pretty damn good. You've also got Dragon War packs, which are 40% off, which means it's £2.39. And a few other packs as well, which I'm not going to go into all of them because there is an absolute plethora of various options. But anyway, you can get the total collection, which is probably going to be served to be your best deal. Pretty damn good game. The Shogun collection, of course, by Sega has always been known as a very tactical and fun RTS, where you deal with massive amounts of units. I don't really need to probably explain it that much more than that. Next up we have Might and Magic Heroes 6, which is currently 50% off, which means it's from £29.99 to, of course, £14.99. I'm not particularly that familiar about these games. I do know that they rate very highly, and of course they are critically acclaimed. Generally speaking, you're looking at 8s and 9s out of 10s, which is pretty damn good. Worth checking out if you're into it. Personally, I've never actually really looked into the game. I am completely aware, of course, it is medieval turn-based strategy. It was released in October 2011. Not a particularly bad price considering just how popular it is. But whether it's, you're willing to actually go for it, it's up to you. There are 5 factions apparently according to the game. So, at the very least, it should offer you some replayability. And of course there's also multiplayer present as well, which obviously adds to the game's longevity. Finally on today's list we have Crusader Kings 2, which is actually 75% off, which is pretty damn reasonable, which means it brings it from £30 basically to £7.49. This is a strategy game, and you are either going to really love it or you're really going to hate it. It pretty much features very heavy economy and that kind of thing. It's certainly not a beautiful looking game. It's very tactical. So you're not really going to see like pew pew pew. It uses a lot of map overviews for the most part. So whether you're going to like it or not depends. It does rate very highly, and of course some people are very into this type of thing. I personally am not. It's also worth noting, however, that I repeat, all of the DLC seems to be on sale as well. So that's excellent. The prices of DLC off range from basically 75% to 40% off. So that means some of it, such as, say, Songs of Faith, is actually only 95 pence, which is, well, ridiculously cheap, to be honest with you. It's also worth noting there are a few other games that aren't particularly in today's deal, but actually really good pricing anyway. These include the Trine Collection, which are extremely cheap right now. Trine 2 is available with 50% off, which makes it basically £6, and Trine 1, the first one of course, is available for £3.49. Definitely worth checking out the games. I know some people can be somewhat put off because of the physics-based platformer, or the fact they're not 3D, what have you, but the game is absolutely beautiful, and I do mean that. It's absolutely gorgeous to look at. So I'd highly recommend checking it out if you can. Finally, I'll mention the new feature, which is quite interesting. There is a cast your vote system, which is now implemented, which apparently changes every 8 hours. That basically allows them to help decide at the very least. I don't know if they'll 100% go with the games that you vote for, but anyway, it helps them decide what deals there are. At the time of recording, there is Saints Row the Third, which will be 75% off if the deal goes ahead. The Witcher 2, Assassin of Kings, of course the Enhanced Edition, which will be 60% off. And finally, Batman Arkham City, which will be a pretty damn good 66% off. Once again, this changes a lot more frequently, shall I say, than the regular daily deals. So it's worth keeping hammering the F5 button on that one. Obviously, one of the reasons I'm putting these videos out, aside from the obvious reason, which is of course, just to let you guys know what I personally think is good deals, is of course that some of you might not have access to Steam in certain areas. For example, you might be doing it on your cell phone, or you might be, say, in school or work or something. You can only watch YouTube. You never know, some areas are kind of funny what they block. So anyway, at least it gives you guys something to listen to. So I'll be, of course, putting out videos as and when I can. You can also, of course, check out redgamingtech.com if you're unable to do anything else. And I or Amasa will be putting out a simple list where you can just see the prices. So hopefully that'll be good. Tomorrow I'm going to try to find the converter so we can actually see the US prices, which will be a lot more helpful, but today is a bit of a rush, unfortunately, for you guys. So anyway, hopefully you've found the video a little bit informative and a little bit fun. Take care of yourselves, and bye for now.